Good afternoon, everyone. This is George Waller, CEO of Blocksafe Technologies. I want to thank each and every one of you for attending today's WebEx, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have. At the end of the WebEx, I'll be putting up my contact information, so by all means, reach out to me via email, text, or any of our social media channels. Today's WebEx, what I'm calling is Blocksafe Technologies, securing the blockchain ecosystem. So the first thing I want to do is I'll give you a quick overview of who and what Blocksafe is, and then I'll go through the products and then our market strategy and our STO. So Blocksafe Technologies is the only US-based blockchain cybersecurity company. We are dedicated to protecting what we call the blockchain ecosystem, which consists of crypto wallets, crypto exchanges, as well as permission-based blockchains. The products that we have, as well as the products that we're building, are all patented. So the very nice thing is that we have a very comprehensive intellectual property or IP strategy. So everything that we build, we also get patents around, so which adds to the value of the company, obviously. And at Blocksafe, our mission is to make the world a safer place for people to compute. So a lot of our investors have asked me to explain what we're doing with the STO and why there's so much value in Blocksafe. So what I did was I created a couple of slides that just talk about the value of Blocksafe and what it brings to someone that makes an investment into us. So the first thing is that we have a huge first mover advantage because we actually have products that are now out on the market. Most of the other STOs as well as ICOs, when you go and look at them, they ask you for money and they say, hey, give us a bunch of your money and we'll let you know when our products will be done. And at that point, we'll then put our products on the market. So in most of those, you don't know how long it's going to take for them to build those products. Here, we actually have 2 of the 3 products that we intend on being able to protect the blockchain ecosystem with. We already have 2 of those ready and on the marketplace while we're building a third. So we have that first mover advantage. And one of the products addresses a big problem, as you'll see in just a moment. The other thing is we have a tremendous market opportunity because the growing cybersecurity, the problem. Every day you look online, or you open up a newspaper, or you turn on a TV, or you hear on the radio, there's been another breach. And a lot of these breaches today are against crypto wallet users, or against exchanges, and now they're starting to appear against blockchains. And our products, one of the other things that not only do we make products, but we make products that also help create revenue streams for both individuals and enterprises. I'll discuss a little bit of that as we go along as well. As I said earlier, we have a very comprehensive intellectual property strategy where we put patents around everything. We have a seasoned team, as you'll hear through my presentation, of people that help us, that work with us and advise us. And that team consists of folks from Bell Labs as a chief scientist, a former CIO of JP Morgan Chase, CIO of Chief Information Officer of Department of Homeland Security, the CEO of Security University. So the folks that are with us are very steep in cybersecurity. And finally, our token, we're calling it BSafe, short for Blocksafe, and it is a revenue participation token. And what that means is that it's going to pay a passive income back to all token holders every 90 days. And the way it works is that every 90 days, we look at the sales over the last 90 days, and we're going to take 10% of all those sales at the gross level and give those back to all the token holders. So every 90 days, our token holders will be receiving a passive income. So you're going to be paid to hold our token. So what is our corporate structure, between Blocksafe, and where did they come from, and who, do they have a parent company? And if so, who is that parent company, and what are the technologies that you got from the parent company? So these are all questions that I had to think through when making up, think through how to present it to you. So what I did was I put it all on in a PowerPoint so that each and every one of you could see it, download this PowerPoint, ask me questions. So Blocksafe, the first thing to know is that Blocksafe is a subsidiary of our parent company. Our parent company is Strikeforce Technologies. Strikeforce has been in business for 18 years now, and Strikeforce is a leader in cybersecurity. Strikeforce, even though they're our parent company, Strikeforce only owns 49% of Blocksafe Technologies. Blocksafe, we started in 2018, and Strikeforce is the inventor of two types of technologies. They're the inventor of what we call out-of-band authentication, as well as keystroke encryption. All of the products that Strikeforce invented are patented. Strikeforce has received 6 patents already, and they have 4 additional patents. And Strikeforce is a very horizontal cybersecurity company. In other words, they sell their products, resellers sell their products into government, resellers sell their products into financial services, into healthcare, into manufacturing, into education. They also have a consumer line. So Strikeforce's products are distributed worldwide. Their products have been distributed now in over 120 countries around the world. So now, what is Blocksafe in respect to Strikeforce? Well, Strikeforce is the parent, but Blocksafe was formed to be verticalized. In other words, Blocksafe does one thing and one thing only. It is dedicated to the blockchain ecosystem. In other words, protecting those crypto wallets, protecting those crypto exchanges, and also protecting blockchains. And so that's all Blocksafe does. The other great thing about Blocksafe being verticalized is that Blocksafe has an exclusive license with its parent, Strikeforce, and Blocksafe will be the only company that will be able to sell those technologies, the out-of-band authentication, the keystroke encryption, into the blockchain ecosystem, and will never have to worry about having competitors in that marketplace. And additionally, and this is probably one of the biggest and best points, is that Blocksafe gets to leverage all of the development, all of the patents that Strikeforce has paid millions and millions over the years for, and all Blocksafe has to pay back is a 15% royalty on any sales that come through the door. So what are those technologies that Blocksafe is using for the blockchain ecosystem, and are they validated? I get that question quite often, and as you can see here, those technologies are very validated. One of the two technologies, the first one is keystroke encryption. Well, Strikeforce has delivered over 5 million copies of keystroke encryption to both businesses and consumers, and they download it and they purchase it to protect their computers. That technology has also been licensed by antivirus vendors, by identity theft prevention vendors, as well as large credit card processors to protect their merchants. Additionally, some of the largest insurance companies in the country, or actually in the world, have licensed the technology to build it into their offerings, so that companies like whether they're DoD, Department of Defense, or federal contractors, or even SBA companies, Small Business Administration organizations, can lower their breach premiums by utilizing the technology that the insurance company is offering out, which is through Strikeforce. Now, the other technology that Strikeforce makes is what they call out-of-band authentication. And what's key about out-of-band is it is the most, it's the industry-leading and most secure multi-factor authentication technology in the world. And what Strikeforce did was they invented the concept of using the phone to authenticate. So if you've ever logged into something like a bank or a website and it sends you a 6-digit code, well, Strikeforce is the inventor of turning the phone into a two-factor authentication device. Well, so now that technology is being used worldwide. Over 500 million people each and every day use that technology, not all through Strikeforce. There are also some competitors in that industry, as well as there's also quite a few infringers. But over 500 million people use that technology that Strikeforce invented each and every day. So it shows you that they're real visionaries in how the people are going to have to communicate, from a security perspective, and where it's going. So Strikeforce, my hat's off to them for their visions. Now, additionally, one of the world's largest computer companies has also licensed Strikeforce's technologies for their cloud platform. By contract, I'm not allowed to state who they are, but they are one of the world's largest computer companies that has a cloud platform. So that just goes to show you that the technology is very well vetted. We have a great group of folks at the company. As you can see, my president, Mark, he comes out of J.P. Morgan Chase. He was the worldwide managing director for over 26 years. Our CTO, Ram, comes out of Bell Labs, and prior to Bell Labs, he's at Bellcore. Prior to Bellcore, he worked for the large government contractor CSC, where he built voice encryptors for the Pentagon and other organizations. In our board of advisors, our chairman is Steve Cooper. Steve was the first chief information officer of the Department of Homeland Security. George Bush called him directly the day after 9/11 and asked him to come on board and help basically gather and disseminate information from the 22 agencies so that we would never have another attack like that. So Steve Cooper worked for DHS for about 5 years, then went on to the FAA, then went on to American Red Cross, and also he was a chief information officer of the Department of Commerce. Now he's our chairman of our advisory board. Also on the board is Sandra Schneider. Sandra, for the last 20 years, has owned Security University, where she has a security university that teaches all the chief information officers and all the CSOs of most of these government agencies and Fortune 1000 organizations. So with all that said, why are we doing this? We're doing this because the blockchain ecosystem, which I explained earlier, is crypto wallets, crypto exchanges, as well as blockchains. They are under attack. In the last 13 months, over $1.1 billion has been stolen. I mean, $1.1 billion in 2018 alone has been stolen. And today, there's now over $9 million a day being stolen out of crypto wallets. So between the exchanges getting hacked, between blockchains getting hacked, between wallet users getting hacked, that's a big problem. So at Blocksafe, we knew that we had the right technologies. We could leverage what Strikeforce built and then be verticalized in that industry to sell, to basically build, modify, and be able to distribute technologies to protect that ecosystem, the blockchain ecosystem. And so what this slide shows, folks, is just some of the headlines. There are hundreds and hundreds more. This is just some of the headlines of attacks over the last year and a half. And some of them are pretty crazy. If you look at the top one to the right over here, here they're talking about a clipboard malware that basically stole $2.3 million in Bitcoins last year when folks were going to send tokens to someone and they copied that person's public key. It modified the key to the hacker's key when they did a paste and send. So imagine you queue up your wallet to send tokens to someone, you hit send, all of a sudden the tokens go to someone else. And once they leave your wallet, that's it, it's over. You can't retrieve those tokens. So that's a very dangerous malware. Even some of the major, like ZDNet, who's one of the leading security analyst firms out there and magazines, and they talk that even most antivirus programs failed to detect cryptocurrency stealing malware. Over here, another malware that steals Bitcoins. Over here, a Korean exchange was hacked in $40 million of tokens. Crypto exchanges, the amount of veracity of people that are hacking them went up 369% in 2000. Well, we got that number in 2018 for 2017. We're now waiting on the 2018 number, and that should be released soon. And from what I understand, it's even higher than last year. But one of the most dangerous things I want to tell you about is this middle article that came out where it says keylogger in red. This one was a crazy breach. So here, and it just goes to show you, by the way, how ingenious and how creative these hackers are. So what happened in this attack vector is that the hackers actually broke into HP and they found where the gold master for some of their laptops, and the hackers embedded a keylogger into the audio driver onto a laptop. So every time they produced a laptop, it came preloaded with spyware or malware on it, and that malware was specifically designed to steal your Bitcoins out of your wallet. And so imagine you take something home, you buy it, it's got a shrink wrap, you buy it, you take it home, you open it up, and it already has malware on it. So that's the real both dangerous and creative part of what the hackers are doing, right? So they're taking advantage of areas that we wouldn't normally anticipate as being infected. And by the way, it's not just in this instance of a laptop. There was not too long ago another incident where hackers broke into a very large manufacturer of USB sticks, and they embedded keyloggers on the USB sticks, and then they distributed those through Newegg and Best Buy and all other places where you walk in and there's a USB stick on, you see them hanging on the tags on the wall. You pick one up, you go to the counter, you pay for it, you go home, you open it up, you put it in because you want to save some data, and all of a sudden it loads malware onto your system. Who thinks of that, plugging in something brand new off the shelf would actually infect your computer? Well, the hackers think that way. Also, I'll give you another example. Not too long ago, Costco here in the Northeast, they were selling digital picture frames, and the hackers had found out who made those frames for Costco. They cyber breached the defenses for that picture frame company, and they found the gold master for their picture frames, and they embedded a keylogger in the digital picture frames. So whether you bought one for yourself or you gave one to someone else or someone gave one to you, as soon as you plugged it in to put your pictures on there, it downloaded a keylogger onto your device. So you could see that it's, you can just, in a non-suspecting way, just buy something brand new, you plug it in and you're infected. And there's other things like what they call drive-bys or websites, very legitimate websites that have been malfaced. So as soon as you navigate to that site, you are instantly infected. And by the way, you don't have to click on a link or a picture or a video. You don't have to click on anything. If you just navigate to that website, you're instantly infected. So that's why it's so important to be proactive and to protect yourselves, because there are things that we do every day that we can't prevent from happening. You have to buy USB sticks. You have to go to websites. You are going to get things like digital picture frames and stuff like that, and you can't be afraid to open everything or plug it in either. So that's why it's so important what we're about to show you. So what we did was we looked at the blockchain ecosystem, and we realized that there were many vulnerabilities that the technologies that we have access to from Strikeforce, that we could take those technologies, modify those technologies specifically to work within the blockchain ecosystem. So what we did was we looked at each of those components. So we started with crypto wallets, and we said, wow, what's the big vulnerability to crypto wallets? What are the hackers doing? Well, they're essentially using keyloggers to steal your wallet passwords. And as in one of the articles I showed you before, they're also using a malware to modify your clipboard. So when you copy someone's public key, it modifies that key to their key. So that as well as they're using malware and injecting it through JavaScript plugins. and basically Chrome extensions, and that malware is grabbing your private key. Then what we do is we looked at exchanges and said, all right, what's happening with exchanges? Well, the hackers are basically phishing the employees, and they're once again using keyloggers to steal their credentials, as well as their the private keys. Because what happens is, as soon as the hackers get the login credentials and they get on the corporate network, right away they go for the hot wallets and where the private keys are stored. Additionally, they're modifying as the folks are working, in those exchanges to assist with transactions. They're modifying their clipboards, so they're doing all sorts of things. They're also taking advantage that those exchanges don't use multi-factor authentication, specifically out-of-band multi-factor. And then finally, we looked at permission-based blockchains and realized that there was basically no security that was developed when they originally started developing permission-based blockchains. And what happened was companies are just relying on their normal network security. Well, the fact is that we see that hackers are, easily breaching your normal, network firewalls and, IPSs and IDSs. And if you breach those, then essentially you get on someone's computer that connects to their blockchain. You're on it. The hackers are instantly on there. So what we did was we realized that there needed to be a security platform that protects your private blockchain or your permission-based blockchain as well. So not only do you need to have security on your network, but you need to have security for your blockchain. You can't leave it wide open and susceptible. So we looked at all the vulnerabilities around permission-based blockchains, and we're building a solution for that as well. So with that said, our approach was to basically assume that malware exists in every system that you touch, your phones, your computers. We know that to protect you, we got to stop the keylogging, we got to stop that clipboard capture, we got to stop screen scraping, we got to stop clickjacking, and we know that you got to authenticate every transaction. The user themselves has to agree that this is a valid transaction. So with those as the approach, and the fact that every 4 seconds there's a new malware put on the internet, we came out with our solution set. So for crypto wallets, we have a technology called Crypto Defender. At the core of it, it's wrapped around keystroke encryption. I'll explain and I'll demo it in just a moment. For exchanges, we have a bundle of products, which is 2 of our products, which is a multi-factor authentication, which is out of band. Principle of it is out of band, and also keystroke protection. Now, the out of band also does one very special thing for exchanges. It enables that exchange to actually invite the user into the transaction process. What I mean by that is that, so imagine that you're doing a transfer of tokens, and you're sitting here, and all of a sudden your phone vibrates, or you see on there, you get a call, and it says to you, "Hey Tom, will you authorize 5 bitcoins to be taken out of to be transferred out of your wallet?" Now, obviously, if you're doing that transfer, you're just going to authorize it, hit yes, or swipe your finger, or use a facial recognition, whatever other technology they want to use. But our system will enable that exchange to actually reach out to that end user in real time and ask them, do they want to allow that to happen? Or the end user can say, hey, I'm not doing a transfer of 5 bitcoins right now, and actually deny that transaction in real time. So that's a huge value that we bring to exchanges. And then finally, on blockchains, we have a technology that we're building called Blockchain Defender, which is going to enable blockchain administrators to add the access control capabilities, the features, the rules, and the roles that they need to protect that blockchain. I'll describe that a little bit more as well. In fact, I'll even give you a quick demo of it. So let's talk the first technology, the Crypto Defender. So in Crypto Defender, what is it? It's a keystroke encryption technology. So most people don't know this, but when you're typing on your keyboard down here, when you type, you're hitting a plastic actuators, the keys. Those plastic actuators create electrical signals. The electrical signal then goes from the keyboard to the keyboard driver, and in the keyboard driver, its job is to interpret those electrical signals, because when they come up in binary code, zeros and ones. So the keyboard driver takes those zeros and ones and converts them to an A and a B or C or whatever character you're typing. Then what the keyboard driver's job is to hand that character in clear text over to the message filter. And it says to the message filter, hey, Tom is typing in his wallet, please send this A up to his wallet. Well, the message filter doesn't actually send it to the wallet. The message filter sends it to the message service. And it says, hey, please deliver this A to the wallet. The message service then says, okay, I will deliver it to the wallet. The message service then carries it up to the wallet or any other application on your computer or phone, whether it's Word, Excel, Outlook, another browser, it could be your VPN client, anything. Well, what happens is this process is a message stack or a data stack process. So when you type on the keyboard, excuse me, when you type on the keyboard, data gets created and it goes up this process. Now, when you type on your keyboard, you see your keystrokes instantly, but in actuality, they go through multiple different handoffs. But since computers and phones work in nanoseconds, you see it instantly. Well, the hackers realize this, and that's why what they do is they embed their keyloggers into that process so that they can get a copy of your keystroke. And they do that very easily because they know how to bypass and avoid detection from your antivirus. So as soon as they do that, they start capturing all your keystrokes. That's why in the last 8 years or so, 95% of the breaches around the world were associated to malware, and over 90% of those were associated specifically to keyloggers. So that's why preventing that keylogger is such an important thing to do. So what we did was, in our, as we explained before, our assumption is to assume that your device is infected. So we built the world's first proactive keystroke encryption technology that encrypts each and every keystroke at the point of origin when you type. So when you're typing down here on the keyboard, watch what happens. We basically encrypted keystrokes instantly. So when you type, you're actually now typing it directly into Crypto Defender. And rather than taking your data and going up to a data stack or message stack, we go around it. So we encrypt your data, then we go around the data stack. We carry your data directly up to your wallet or other application, and then only Crypto Defender encrypts it directly into your application. So now, with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give you a demonstration of the product. So I'm just going to minimize this, and I'm going to bring up a browser. And I'm going to go to my wallet, and I'm going to show you how not only I get keylogged, but how that spyware that I described before, in which the article pointed to, about the malware that also changes your public keys. So this is a browser. I am live on the internet. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a keylogger, because I actually want to show you in real time how this happens. So let me just make this a little bit smaller. Let me put this right here. So I have our Crypto Defender software on here. And what I did was I went ahead and I disabled it, because I first want to show you that I can steal, then I'll go ahead and show you that I can protect. So let's go to my wallet. My wallet is at my Ether wallet. So I'm going to type. You watch the keylogger as I type them up in my wallet. So I type in myetherwallet.com. As you can see, the keylogger stole where my wallet is, so it knows that my wallet is stored with my Ether wallet. So now, what I'm going to do is, and that's the keylogger functionality. It steals everything I type in real time. So now I'm going to go into my wallet. I'm going to say I want to send tokens. Now, when I go to pick where my key file is stored, what happens is this keylogger is also malware that picks up that private key. And once it picks up my private key, the only thing it needs now is my password. How do I open up my wallet? I put in my password. And look at that. It went ahead and it stole my password. So not only did it know where my wallet is, it then stole my private key, and then it stole my password. So now a hacker can easily utilize that to go ahead and basically take all the tokens out of my wallet. So that's one major vulnerability. The other major vulnerability, as I described before, is when they change your public key. They steal your public key. So here is a public key. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, and just look at the last four of the public key. It's 57C6. Now I'm going to go over here, I'm going to paste that public key in here, paste it, and look, it says 4979. From copying it at 57C6, it put in now someone else's public key, it put in the hacker's public key. So if I was to go ahead and say, let's put in 5, Ether and hit generate transaction, I would instantly be sending my tokens to a hacker without even realizing that. So now that I showed you how they're stealing from your wallet, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how our Crypto Defender protects that. So I'm just now going to go ahead and enable this. And the fact is, and now that's it, it's done. I'm already protected by just enabling it. Now, you don't have to enable it every time you do anything. Once you install it on the computer, it's on all the time. 24 hours a day, it's on. Well, when your computer's on, and it's protecting you, encrypting everything you type. So let's go right back up here, and I'm going to go and do this whole transaction over again, only this time with Crypto Defender turned on. So I'm going to also clear the keylogger so that when I typed before, you saw it steal stuff. So let's go right back to the website itself. As I type in my Ether wallet, you watch the keylogger. As you can see, the keylogger was not able to steal where my wallet is. Now I'm going to go log back into my wallet. And I'm going to go through the same two processes that I did before to show you how now they can't steal. So here, now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to select my key, and look at this, the password field turns green. So what we do is for Crypto Defender, when we turn that field green, we call that crypto color, so we're actually showing you it's safe to type. So when I typed George here before, it stole it. Let me type George again, and you watch the keylogger. It doesn't see anything. And to show you there's no sleight of hand, I'm going to disable Crypto Defender. I'll type in here now Mike, and look at that, it stole it. Now I'm going to go back here. I'm going to enable it. There's the green again, showing me instantly that I'm protected. I'm going to type George, and as you can see, it doesn't steal, it doesn't see anything. So that's the first thing, it stops all keylogging. So now I'm going to go ahead, I am going to put in my password because I want to unlock my, my wallet. And now I want to show you that other feature. So this is the first thing, is that we prevent them from stealing your passwords. This way, even if they stole your key, they can't unlock your wallet. Now before, when I went ahead and copied this key with the last four ending in 57C6, it turned it to 4979. Let's go ahead and do that again now that Crypto Defender is turned on. Put my, over here, there's the green, show me it's safe to type or paste. I hit paste, and look at that, 57C6. Up here, 57C6. So Crypto Defender is the world's leading security technology to protect crypto wallets, whether you're using software crypto wallets or hardware crypto wallets. You need Crypto Defender to protect your keys. So now I'm just going to stop this. I'll close this. Now this transaction I'm going to leave here because I'm actually going to demonstrate another feature once we get over to our Blockchain Defender application that we're building. So I'm just going to leave this here because I'm going to pull that back up in a few moments. So let me pull the PowerPoint back up and go into presentation mode. So I covered the Crypto Defender. So now mobile, what do we do for mobile? So in mobile, the Crypto Defender I just demonstrated for you is for both desktops for Windows computers and Apple computers. Now for mobile, what we did was we worked with Apple and Android, and we built the world's only keystroke encrypted keyboard. So once you download Crypto Defender onto your mobile, it actually gives you a new keyboard, as you're seeing right here, as up on the image of my iPhone, that gives you now a new encrypted keyboard that encrypts everything you type in any application that you type in. So that's the great thing. Crypto Defender protects everything you do, not just your crypto wallets. When you're emailing, you're shopping, you're banking, you're putting in, you're filling out a credit application, you're putting in, private, secret information like name, address, phone number, social security number, date of birth, stuff like that. Crypto Defender also has a couple of great features. It has a more secure browser than either of your mobile browsers right now. It has an encrypted password vault. It has a strong password generator. It also has a two-factor token in there. So Crypto Defender for mobile is like a little mobile bundle that gives you all these great features. But the most important feature of all of them is the keystroke encrypted keyboard, because that protects everything you do on your mobile device. So that's for crypto wallets. Now, crypto exchanges. So what we did is, I said earlier, we bundled two of our products together, which are called basically our Crypto Defender for keystroke encryption and ProtectID, which is our multi-factor out-of-band authentication platform that literally, you use it out-of-band, over 500 million people use it a day. So what that does is it provides, these two technologies provide the most secure bundle of security features that any exchange could introduce to protect themselves and their end users. When they use our two technologies together, essentially, if you look at the graph on the right, they get endpoint protection for the users, for their user employees, for their customer service reps, as well as their admins that are logging in. So they get not only endpoint protection, they get keystroke encryption for each of these users, but they also get login multi-factor out-of-band authentication for each of those, for their employees, their user logins, their customer service reps, and their admins. Plus, additionally, what they get to do is they get to use our transaction verification, which is what I described before. Imagine if Binance was using this. If you went to do a transaction in Binance, your phone would ring and say to you, "Hey, Tom, please swipe your finger to authorize this transaction." And that would happen in real time. So we have this bundle for exchanges to really make them secure. Now I'm going to go over to our Blockchain Defender. So those two technologies I just described are on the market, and we're selling them today. Our Blockchain Defender, we're building this. So what is Blockchain Defender? Our Blockchain Defender is a solution that protects your permission-based blockchain. And again, some people call permission-based blockchains private or corporate. They're all the same. They're the same thing. So to the bottom right over here is your permission-based blockchain. And what happens is, while we agree that that blockchain is secure, so it's immutable, so the data in there is secure. But the problem is, people think, oh, well, the blockchain is secure, I don't have to worry about it. No, that's not true. You do have to worry about it, because what happens is you connect to your blockchain via your D app or your Web3J app going through a standard blockchain protocol. Well, any of these areas are susceptible to malware, basically modifying transactions and watching everything you do. In fact, you can get malware on your device, and by you logging into your blockchain, you can now theoretically put malware onto your blockchain. And if malware gets on your blockchain, it's on there forever. So that's why all of these areas are vulnerable. While the blockchain itself is secure, access to it is not. Additionally, you may have that blockchain connected to your corporate network because you may be running ERP systems, CRMs, BIs, business intelligence, financial, as well as other blockchains or other databases. Well, all of that is susceptible to being hacked by hackers. Therefore, that's why it's so important that there needs to be now a way of protecting anything that goes in and out of your blockchain. So what we're doing is we're building a Blockchain Defender, and I'll show you right here what it looks like. There's what it is. So essentially, a Blockchain Defender is a platform that sits in front of your blockchain. And now to connect to your blockchain, you have to go through a Blockchain Defender agent. Now, what our agent does is it gives your blockchain administrator the ability to put stuff do stuff like, I want you to authenticate every transaction, verify every transaction, put rules and roles. Who can log into your blockchain and who can't? When people log in here, what can they do or not? Is Tom allowed to put smart contracts in there or not? So for the first time, there'll now be a solution that will allow blockchain administrators to truly protect their blockchains, because right now there is nothing there protecting your blockchain. If a hacker gets onto your network, your corporate network, they can get onto your blockchain. Here, we now lay another level of defensiveness to protect that blockchain. And in that defensiveness, there's transaction verification capabilities. We have content filtering. What does that mean? Anyone that connects to your blockchain, we're basically verifying that none of the data that they're sending into the blockchain is infected with, for example, malware. We'll prevent malware from getting on your blockchain. We also have a blockchain firewall, a DDoS mitigator, a load balancer, and obviously our policy enforcement engine. So we'll lock down that blockchain so that no one can communicate with it. That isn't supposed to. And just to show you how strong this is, remember when I said before I want to leave that transaction open? Let me go back to that transaction that I have open. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send 5 Ether. Check this out. So I'm going to say this, go ahead and generate that transaction. Send the transaction. It's going to say, you sure you want to do this transaction? And what happens is that right now my phone's ringing. I'll put it on speaker.
Please press pound to continue. Please enter your telephone password followed by the pound key.
So now I'm entering in my password right on my phone.
Access is granted. Goodbye.
And look at that. It just broadcast that transaction, that authorization down onto my blockchain. So what you just saw, folks, is that in 1 second, when I said generate that transaction, let me just pull up that graphic. It's easier when you see it on the PowerPoint. So here I am. I've got my device, my computer. I'm connecting to my permission-based blockchain down here, which is in our organization. I went to do a transaction, but there was a rule in here that said verify any transactions. So our policy engine checked the rule and said, what's the rule? It said authenticate. It came to my authentication platform. It called me on my phone, and it asked me, will you authorize this transaction? I authorized it. The rules engine then went back to the agent and said, yep, it's authorized. And only then did it post onto my blockchain. Folks, we did that in 1 second. So this is what we're building, and this is going to change the landscape of all blockchains, permission-based blockchains out there, because today there is no solution like this. And after we build this, we're then going to build a solution for public-based blockchains as well. So let me go back to full screen and I'll continue. So talked a lot about the company, who we are, where we came from, our pedigree, the pedigree of folks that we have working for us, as well as the pedigree around the technology that we have. So now let's talk a little bit about our market opportunity and our STO. So there's a huge market. Wallets are growing every day. In a couple of years, the wallets will be up to 200 million wallets, people using them. Every one of those people are going to need to protect that wallet. And that's something we're the only company out there with a keystroke encryption technology that's patented for protection of wallets. As you can see here on the far right, right now the industry, cybersecurity for the blockchain industry is about 100 billion. That's going to grow up to about 355 billion in the next 3 years. So we have great opportunity. How do we sell our software? Our software is sold on a subscription basis. So, for example, here in our Crypto Defender, we sell our software at, we have 2 versions of it, a $5.99 a month version that protects 2 devices, or $9.99 a month that protects up to 5 devices. And so, if you have $90, $9,000, or $900,000, who's not going to protect their wallet for $5, for $6 a month, or $10 a month? I mean, that's crazy not to protect it when technology is available to do that. Because again, once the tokens are stolen out of your wallet, that's it, you lost your money and there is no getting it back. So that's why a service like what we offer is so valuable to the end user. And obviously you could see down on the bottom, we put some first year, second year, third year projections out there, and this adds a lot of value to why you would possibly want to invest in our STO, because our company has the potential of making a lot of money. I mean, we're forecasting the first year that if we get 250,000 users, that's it, just 250,000 users, we'll be pulling in about $2.5 million a month. And why that's important is because, remember something, our tokens are revenue generating. So 10% of that is going to go directly back to all the token holders every 90 days. As sales increase, more and more money is going back to all of those token holders every 90 days. You'll be getting paid to own our token, which is a fantastic thing. This is our use of funds and token allocation. All these, this whole PowerPoint, everything, our white paper is all up on our IO website at www.blocksafetech.io. So you could go and scrutinize these, look at them, and contact us about any questions. So what's our go-to-market strategy? Right now, we're partnering with crypto wallets, we're partnering with exchanges, we're partnering with blockchain integrators, blockchain platform providers. We're creating awareness through industry analysts, as well as all the newspapers and magazines and influencers. And we're also launching a 6-tier ambassador marketing portal, which allows you all the influencers out there that partner with us, and then everyone that they recommend to buy our software, they will get paid themselves on a monthly basis. So we want everyone to partake in the profit of the company. So what have we accomplished so far? So we have our Crypto Defender version 1.0 is already in production and on the market, and we're selling it today. Our Exchange Defender is version 1.0 is now in production, and we're selling that. We have a proof of concept, as I just demonstrated for you, of our Blockchain Defender, where it called me about my wallet usage. We have signed resellers on to sell our products. We're in discussions with many wallet companies to integrate our technology directly into their wallets, as well as we're in discussions with exchanges to distribute our products. Now, Blocksafe, we've been in the news. I mean, all these magazines and people are writing about us on a weekly basis, and this is just a small sample of the folks that have been writing about us, but the one we're most proud of is the one directly in the middle. We've recently been named one of the top 10 most disruptive blockchain solution providers. So this is a little bit about our STO. So our token's called BSafe. It is an ERC20 token. Our original token supply was 120 million. Our hard cap is 16.2 million. Our STO started on 3/25, March 25th. We now have 32.4 million tokens left for sale. Our tokens are 50 cents a token. And as I said above, that we're looking to raise 16.2 million. Now, the two very important things to remember is that all token holders will receive a passive income every 90 days. So every one of you that invest in us will receive that passive income. And by the way, no management, no one in this company that has tokens, that gets tokens, partakes in that bonus. So that bonus is only for the people that buy tokens. And additionally, so not only are we giving away a passive income, but for any investment greater than $1,000, we are giving away equity shares of the company as well. Now, we did cap that at $5 million, but for the first $5 million invested up to that, over $1,000 up to $5 million, you're going to basically also get shares of the company. And just to show you how to kind of lays out, so for a $1,000 investment, you get 2,000 tokens and 500 shares of Blocksafe. If you're at $10,000, you're getting 20,000 tokens, 5,000 shares of Blocksafe. If you're at 100,000, you're getting 200,000 tokens and 50,000 shares of Blocksafe. So, in summary, folks, Blocksafe, we tackle a big problem. We are using patented products. There is a very large and growing market opportunity. We have the first mover advantage. We have an experienced team with over 17 years of technology, cybersecurity innovation behind us. We have some of the most reputable advisors in the marketplace. Our products will help create revenue streams for ambassadors and resellers and distributors. We have a very comprehensive IP strategy. Our tokens, since we're doing an STO, they are SEC compliant. Our tokens are going to pay a passive income, and the passive income is going to help support that secondary market, because who is ever going to want to sell a token that pays them every 90 days? So everyone that buys tokens are going to want to go long on them. So folks, my name is George Waller. I am the CEO of Blocksafe Technologies. As you can see, here's my contact information, gwaller@blocksafetech.com, as well as our phone number at 732-661-9641. And if you go to our blocksafetech.com website, which is, you can see right on the bottom, you can go to either blocksafetech.com or blocksafetech.io. You'll see all of our social media sites, channels that we have. So reach out to us through social media or any of these different ways. And I look forward to speaking with you in the near future. And I look even more forward to paying you a passive income based on the tokens if you choose to invest in us. So I appreciate every one of you today, your time. I know it's very valuable to you, and that means a lot to me. So I want to say thank you from all of us at Blocksafe, and safe computing.